Brother.
What's up, everyone? I'm Rob.
I'm Eamon.
It is Eamon, would you believe? A mini fuzz.
I love mini fuzz.
Do you, yeah? Do you feel all small and fuzzy?
199. The damn thing is fine.
It is. It's 199. We've done 199
baby.
mini fuzzes, you ballocks.
But we're not going to get the 200 mini fuzz for a couple
of
weeks.
No, a couple of weeks.
You're away.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good segue there. This will be... so we'll have mini fuzz this week. It's the last mini fuzz. And then on Monday, there'll be another episode. And then there's going to be a break for about 2 or 3 weeks. But don't worry, because one and only Zeno O'Neill is doing... What are you doing, Eamon?
I don't know yet.
No.
I'm going to do little spooky things.
I'll actually say this on air. One of our listeners sent us in a story on email. And it seems to be substantial enough. I'll send that on to you. If it's decent, you can read that one out.
Listen, it's a lot of things that we would have let slide on this podcast quality-wise. Mm-hmm. When I'm doing it myself, it's going to be a whole different ball game, okay? Right. Seriously,
right. Like that,
music, lights, smoke effects, dry ice, all that shit, pyrotechnics. There'll actually be no video when I'm doing it myself. So
that'll all be there, but
it'll be there. It's just you guys will never see how cool this is. I'll see if I can use my wife's camera to video it, but it'll be shy, like, because it'll be me in a pink room.
Well, sure.
A purple room, sorry. It's healing. It's a healing colour.
Sounds good.
Jimmy Savile's tracksuit.
Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are in the world. I know we're doing just peachy. We just recorded a fucking 1.5 hour bumper Patreon episode.
We had a long discussion where we disagreed.
Eamon sucked us into Joe Rogan. Like, Joe Rogan, if you're into Joe Rogan, there's a 45-minute Joe Rogan rant.
I think you were actually the man who brought up Rogies. He said, I think you should be deplatformed immediately. I don't know about that now. He said, who needs to stop spreading disinformation? I was going around the place like CNN.
I didn't say that.
I was Megyn Kelly.
No, I didn't say that. Eamon has been a sensational bitch.
Yeah, wait to hear my podcast by myself where no one will ever be deplatformed.
That was a good discussion, actually.
It was fun. I think we both broadly agreed with each other by the end of it.
Yeah, no. Look, it's a personal thing, and it's down to what you view and how you view to approach certain things, basically. So if you're interested in, there's a mental health fuzz discussion. There is a bit of the discussion mountain fuzz, all that kind of stuff, and then we get into 45 minutes of ranting.
We get into immigration.
We get into immigration. We get into everything.
Polarization fuzz. Yeah, it's a big one. It's actually the kind of conversations we'd have in general.
Yeah.
But just you are all watching, which makes it weird.
So that's on Patreon if you want to check it out, folks. And as we've said, it's the best way to help us to continue to develop these episodes. You get something in return for that help. You know, you get your access to the Discord, you get the ad-free experience, and all of that jazz. As a matter of fact, I do believe the Apple version of Patreon we now have. I need to actually run tests on that. Yeah. But once that is up and running, you will be able to use Apple to subscribe to Monster Fuzz if you like, and you don't have to go through Patreon. It's all done within the Apple Podcast app, I believe. Ooh. And yeah, you'll get your exclusive episodes and all over on Apple. So if that sounds good to anyone, do let me know. I wouldn't mind having a couple of beta testers actually, just to see how it works. So if one person, I can refund you the money or whatever. If they just want to see how it works, let me know. You can pay yearly on Patreon. It's a good way to do it. You don't have a monthly subscription, so check it out. Eamon, if they have any cryptid encounters, spooky experiences, where to send them?
If you have any spooky stories that you'd like us to read out on a mini fuzz, send them to monsterfuzzpodcast@gmail.com. Today we have Paul O'Halloran, very exciting, and we also have Stephen Marlowe. So there you go.
Long-time patron, long-time listener, Stephen Marlowe. Big shouts out to our long-time cool dude. Big shouts out to our new patron, Brendan B. Perry, as well. Thank you for the support.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Would you like me a Cyclops t-shirt today, man?
It's very cool.
Optic Blast.
Gene Splice.
I'm wearing 1995 pants.
You are like
going to do an ollie.
You do listen to some new metal and do an ollie.
I'm wearing Billie Eilish pants actually.
Do a pop, shove it.
Yeah, Billie Eilish dressed a bit like. She's found her, she's like, she got into her dad's closet and just like put on all his clothes.
Cardigans and all that.
Yeah. Just all real baggy
stuff. I mean, you look pretty cool. Big. I haven't seen a pants with that
gate.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
I didn't realise when I bought them.
They look very comfortable though.
I was like, but that was the idea.
I'll get you a wallet chain for... Actually, when you're in Japan, you should get one of those mad wallet chains. Get yourself a big Buster sword hanging down from your belt and all.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So, Paul O'Halloran writes in, if you want to take it away.
Hello, gentlemen. I've been listening since I heard you on TCG with Gordo in your Jabbo Bofi. That's a Jabba-fofi.
Did you say Jabbo
Bofi, yeah. To be fair, it is a weird 2 words together.
And also, by the way, we put out a little shout on Instagram for suggestions of podcasts for us to collaborate with. Who would our listeners like to see us collaborate with? And as well, if anyone listening who's not on Instagram would like us to collaborate with certain podcasts, send us an email. But basically Gordo came up quite a bit, and we are due a yearly episode with Gordo. With so I'll reach out to him and
we'll head up to Mayo to do Croak Patrick.
No, no, that no, but we'll definitely be doing a collab. So it's basically with Gordo. What it is usually is we have to come up with an idea or concept for a bizarre episode that he would be enticed by. So last time it was Glitches in the Matrix, which that's perfect.
Well, Gordo. It was a giant spider in the Amazon.
It was a giant spider, and there's probably one other thing. Yeah, so we'll think up something for Gordo, and hopefully we'll have him on in the next couple of months to collaborate with.
So Paul enjoyed the Jabba-fofi episode, and he's enjoyed every episode since. I save the shows until I'm in work, and they don't half make the day so much easier to deal with. I had planned to meet you at Loch Ness, but halfway to Larne to catch the ferry, my scooter gave up the ghost and had to use the spending money my wife gave me to get it fixed.
That's really shit.
Man. Sorry to hear that. Missed you.
That would have been class though if he had rocked up on a fucking scooter from Belfast.
I would have started a Vespa gang with him for sure.
Like, but I'm just actually thinking about this now because I read it in the email when it came in, but I'm like...
He was coming from Belfast?
Yeah. Paul, you absolute madman. Were you going to get up to Inverness on a scooter? That in itself is like a vlog. He should have recorded that shit.
It might have been for the best that scooter scary. Gave up the ghost, because that could have been scary. Yeah, that would have been a lot.
I would have shit me cakes.
I didn't realise he was coming from Belfast.
I think so. I might be wrong.
Yeah, fair play, Paul. Right in less.
It is. It's from Belfast. Yeah, it's from Belfast. Jesus. Paul from Belfast.
No, that might have been. We've talked before on the show about like sometimes a bad thing happening, but it's actually the spirits looking out for you.
That
and this seems like it was one of those. He goes on to say, I saw this article and thought it would be a good entry for a mini fuzz.
Yeah, he sent that in. We're going to read that next.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I also have a few ghostly tales about my workplace. I work for a company that makes a world famous beer, which is black with a creamy head. Take 3 guesses.
Beamish.
Murphy's.
Smiddix.
Definitely one of those. One night while working on a packaging machine, I turned around and saw a guy clear as day standing staring at me. He was wearing green overalls, had long red hair and a beard which on hindsight kind of looked like the way my dad styled his back in the early 70s. He had a vacant look and just kind of stared right through me. Like me and Rob on Diazepam.
Yeah, shouts out.
Now me being a polite and friendly person said hello and gave him the old, what about you? What about you? Nod, thinking he was an agency worker and wanted him to feel welcome. So that's very nice. The ignorant fecker blanked me, so I thought, you bollocks, 2 can play at that game. I turned around to load more cardboard into the machine, which took no longer than a few seconds, and when I turned back around, he had fecked off. I asked my workmate, had he seen the guy? And he said, who? I was later speaking with the supervisor and asked, where's the agency guy?
Oh, Scottish, nice.
He's Scottish. I'm trying to do Belfast. He said, we don't have an agency. Would
you like a wee tug?
Would you like a wee tug?
There you go, you got it there now.
Like a wee tug. Well, there's some guy running around in green overalls. Shouldn't be here then. Fuck. Have you seen him too?
Yeah, there you go, that's better.
Got him now. Got it by the end. Apparently, before the company I work for took over the building, someone in the previous company had hung themselves in one of the storerooms.
Nice.
The uniforms they wore, green overalls. A few weeks later, myself and co-workers were telling ghost stories to the new start, as you do, while standing next to a shadow board with various cleaning supplies hanging on it. When suddenly, as we were talking about the guy in the green overalls, supplies flew, not fell, flew around 6 feet through the air and hit the machine in front of us. We then decided that it was now a good time to talk about the latest episode of Lost. This happened a while back. That's reminiscent.
That flying across the room shit, like Tim was saying that from Strange Familiars. He was saying that they did, I don't know whether it was during a meetup or something, maybe Tim did. And they were like down in some basementy place and like shit was literally flying across the room.
That happened to my dad doing the Ouija board.
Yeah.
It was, he lived in Dublin with a buddy of his when they were in college. And they were doing the Ouija board after The Exorcist came out or whatever. And he said a glass, same thing, they're over here, so they're doing the Ouija board. It flew out, hit the corner of the wall. hit the corner where the ceiling meets the wall, fell down and hit the floor and never broke.
Yo.
And they both like moved out of that place.
That reminds me, actually, I had a dream that me and you were in your sister's house and we were trying to record a podcast with her.
Yeah, that sounds like a premonition. She said she'd be up for coming in for an episode.
All right, well, we'll do it then. So yeah,
we'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
It was in her house.
Yeah.
Anna will bring the equipment over. Put the children to bed. Other people have seen him about occasionally walking through machines, not around. And I think this is because of the way machines and conveyors have been placed. They are now where corridors and rooms used to be before remodeling. We've talked about this before, where you see ghosts walking through walls. And if you looked at the house before they had redone the walls and all that, that would have been the way, like echoes from the past. So now anytime a machine malfunctions, it is said that it was the guy in the green overalls. The laird. on a few occasions I've heard my name being called when I'm totally alone, and myself and a few other workmates have been tapped on the shoulder or pushed into the back, only to turn to find nothing. I hope this email reads okay, as I haven't had to write anything this long since I did my O-levels in English in 1987. Yes, I am that old. I just wanted to finish off by saying thanks for the laughs and sometimes mental health fuzz. Your best friend from Belfast, Paul. And that's just one for us, the PS. Yeah, appreciate that, Paul. Fair play.
Yeah, and by the way, with the PS, like, look, how do you know, Paul?
Yeah, we definitely would have said something.
Well, while we were in Belfast, like, we would have just said to you, if you wanted to meet up in Belfast, like, without having to go to Scotland, we probably would have done that, because we were kind of in that buzz anyway, kind of as we were travelling through. So, yeah, maybe in the future, if we're up near the north again, I'll drop you a line. And
I wonder, could we do a show in Belfast? Because we had a few people, a few more people from Belfast than I thought we'd have.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, next year there'll be an opportunity for people to travel and see us in Ireland, probably. So if you want to do that, then that'll be there for you. So yeah, that's pretty crazy though. We're actually going to have a guest pretty soon that is very much a ghost-based guest. So we'll be talking about a lot of ghostly stuff, which is quite exciting.
Who is that?
It's Emma from the Ghost.
Yes, very good. Looking forward to that.
So that'll be quite interesting because we'll get cool perspectives. That's the best thing about guests. Like, that was the cool thing about talking to Tim for the first time, for example, was like, you're basically just getting like this treasure trove of information from someone who's been collecting fucking data for ages. It's
also one of those things where, like, if you were out drinking one night or at the pub or whatever, and you were chatting to someone and they were like, oh, I have this cool ghost story, and you'd immediately be like, oh, class. So it's like all that stuff is pre-done. So like you just sit down and you're like, I know you have cool ghost stories.
Tell us all about ghosts. So we're on to a bit of a Bigfoot one. This is the one that Paul sent in. So it's actually quite interesting. Cops rescue terrified teens from a growling Bigfoot with glowing eyes in Louisiana forest amid a spate of sightings, would you believe?
Did you see that one that someone put onto the Discord about the Bigfoot trashing around the tree?
I have not, sir.
It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. A group of terrified teenagers have been rescued after an encounter with a glowing-eyed and growling Bigfoot in a Louisiana forest. Natchitoches Parish Sheriff's deputies said in the recent high school graduates from Houma called in distress while deep within Kisatchie National Forest late last week. The old CCAI closed captions are going to be working overtime trying to put them words out. The teenagers aged 17 to 18 recounted a chilling encounter with what the group described as a creature resembling Bigfoot with glowing eyes, according to the Natchitoches Parish Sheriff's Office. I'm just going to say that different every time, and hopefully one of them's right. The group...
Right now, the AI just has question marks underneath.
The group had reportedly ventured approximately 1.5 miles down Backbone Trail in southern Natchitoches Parish to camp out after their graduation festivities. One of the teens, who was panicked by a growling sound and a mysterious figure standing about 5 feet tall with glowing eyes, called emergency services for rescue. At approximately 9:20 p.m., deputies assigned to the MPSO Patrol Operations Bureau responded to NetCom 911 Center reports of a group in Kisatchie National Forest needing assistance. So yeah, they basically had a distress call. They needed to go out. Deputy B. Remo and Corporal D. Halliburton cautiously approached the campsite, alert for any signs of danger. Following the sound of the group's whistle, the deputies located them unharmed but visibly shaken. Upon arriving at the campsite, deputies escorted the teens safely out of the forest. Despite thorough investigation, authorities were unable to corroborate reports of a creature matching the description provided by the group. So the NPSO concluded their statement congratulating the graduates, thanking them for visiting the parish and the Kisatchie National Forest and wishing them success in their future endeavours. What does that even mean? In 2019, within the depths of the Kisatchie National Forest, 2 researchers known only as Texla and Claude conducted a nighttime expedition where they howled 4 times into the forest at Bigfoot and received 4 howls back.
Fucking proven, man.
You're an expert on all things Bigfoot, Eamon. Does this happen?
People go into the forest and shout up to the stars from time to time.
But do they howl back usually? Like, is that a Bigfoot thing?
Come
on now, you're the expert.
See, it could be with Bigfoot. They do that thing with the trees, you know, when you hit the branches against the trees and the Bigfoot hit the branches back. I don't know if it's Bigfoot howling back. There's some weird sounds in the forest.
Dogman, like.
Could be Dogman.
Yeah. So Texla, an experienced Bigfoot researcher from Baton Rouge, explained their methods involved using audio devices and cameras camouflaged among the trees to capture evidence of Bigfoot's presence, the Town Talk reported. Claude also emphasised the importance of interpreting subtle signs, such as twisted tree limbs and mysterious markers, which they believe could be indicative of Bigfoot's presence.
I think it's those. See, this is a weird one because the Bigfoot that they saw is only 5 feet tall, which isn't in keeping with a general Bigfoot size. But it could be maybe an adolescent or something. But usually, because if Bigfoot's 7.5 feet tall, when he puts his arm up, he's like 9 feet tall. He can just break a pine branch like that. So they'd often say, like, that's bizarre. So probably Bigfoot. But I think Bigfoot is a metaphysical being.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It is what it is, man. If you choose to believe, that's great. If you choose not to believe, that's great too, Texla told the outlet. A lot of people don't want to come forward because they don't want to be intimidated, he added. Claude said he was able to get photos of Bigfoot tracks in the area they researched. Nothing remarkable, nothing to write home about, but they were, to my way of thinking, good tracks, he said. This comes amid spates of reported sightings of Bigfoot in various states across the nation.
I do like the glowy-eyed Bigfoot.
Glowy-eyed Bigfoot's cool.
Sounds like this could have been someone since it was graduation who was just fucking around. If that would be your Occam's razor. Do you know what I mean? You've graduated, you're going in, people know you're going into the forest to act the maggot. Someone goes, I'm going to put on a pair of glowy goggles now and freak him out.
Yeah, there's a lot of trees near here that lads go up and drink in. And it would be ripe for just going up and going.
You would be better off seeing a Bigfoot than seeing those lads drinking.
No, you're better off going up and fucking with them. That's what I'm saying.
We should freak them out. We should make a video of us hoaxing people. A live hoax. That would be really fun.
But you could do. So, it could be that.
I'm just saying, like, if you obviously go with something that you could explain, like, there's obviously evidence of people doing hoaxes. There's no real evidence of Bigfoot.
All right, like,
you know, even though I believe it. Do you believe?
Yeah, of course.
Do you believe it was Bigfoot? Could have been the Albatwitch.
Could be the Albatwitch. He's smaller again, though. No, it could be, look, is it a Neanderthal, Eamon? With spooky red eyes.
I feel like if it's Neanderthal, I think we should give Neanderthals can be big.
I actually don't know why they don't use Neanderthal as a bit of a cryptid more, because, like, really and truly, it wasn't that long ago in the grand scheme of things he was still knocking about. So it's like, isn't that a no-brainer to kind of use Neanderthal?
Do you have Neanderthal blood in you? Do you know? Yeah, I think I do. It's on my dad.
And Otzi the Iceman.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I'm related to him. And Niall of the 9 Hostages. I'm related to him. Some man. Royal.
History. Regal Robert.
And that's Irish Regal stuff, Niall of the 9 Hostages. Yeah.
Sure, I'm an O'Neill, like I'm the red hands.
We were probably fighting. I think Niall of the 9 Hostages might have, or was he an O'Neill?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Niall of the 9 Hostages, did you slave St. Patrick?
Could have done.
Is that you?
Should have done.
Why were you at that? Why were you about that life?
He was getting brazen, Welsh fucker.
Patrick was. He's going up to the orrery. Look at this fucking plant. That's God the Son of the Holy Ghost.
He needed to be kept in a cage for a while now. Sorted out.
It's mad how, like, he explained the Trinity with the clover. In the name of the Father, the Son. If you were explaining it, you'd have to explain it with, like, the Triforce. No, but so would I. That's like, how I would do it. I would probably do it as well.
No, I thought I spilled tea on me Cyclops.
Oh fuck.
No, but I think men of the cloth and stuff are generally a lot more. They try and they're more abstract. They try and like take everyday items in as a sort of is that an allegory? Is that the right word for it? Because I remember our priests and all used to do crazy shit like that, where they're like talking about
like, look at
the symbology.
This is an allegory for the union of two souls.
It's like how it relates to Jesus in some way, shape, or form, and you're like, well, I didn't see that one coming. That was quite unusual.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it back then with paganism. It's woven into stories. I think that's why there's so much symbology in
that thing that you believed in. Here's the Jesus DLC skin on top of it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, Jesus cosmetics.
You have the sun god. Jesus is all the gods.
Yeah. You like the sun god? Well, now he's wearing the Jesus Raw DLC. Did they release
that Bible video game? Remember they were talking about the Jesus?
No, it's not out yet, but I want it. Yeah,
that's been on the cards for ages.
I want it. Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's mad, like, but you just like never lose any health.
Class, like
playing.
It would be. I mean,
can you fail the mission? Or like, is it just wasted? Like, can you survive the crucifix? I suppose he did technically.
It'd be kind of cool if you respawn back at the temple where he was, the cave that he was in.
Later. Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool if like part of the game is you are suffering from man's like continue suffering from man's sin. Press X.
Press X
you can choose to just get down off the cross and yeet lads are fucking dickheads, all worthless.
Picking up the cross and like using it like a broadsword.
Just going
battle
after
axe.
Pontius Pilate.
No, it could be cool, man. A Jesus video game, walking on water and loads of cool shit.
Healing hands.
Like it's shit that you'd have to put cheats in on GTA to be able to do, and you could just do it natively.
Just
in the
go
game.
down to the river, start making wine all day.
Yeah. Turn the river into wine. Get drunk.
I wonder if you can turn it into like whiskey and beer and stuff. And just like ping, 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 ping.
I'm actually surprised that they haven't released a proper Jesus video game. I'll be quite honest with you.
Well, they are. That Holy Bible
that needs to come out.
Yeah, I'm sure there must have been something. I'm sure there's some PC born again Christian game.
Probably.
It's like the Oregon Trail, but just Jesus.
They should, like, I'd play it. I'd be all about it. Actually, like, that's, like, unironically, like, the medium that I probably learned the most from. So it's like if a video game came out about Christianity, like, Bible the game, I'd be fucking a priest the next day, probably after clearing it, you know?
I'd like to play that. I think, like, do you know that new Avatar game, which actually looks pretty cool? I think it's like that, but you're like Jesus. And
class.
Pretty class. Although, I doubt, like, to be fair, I doubt Jerusalem and all, like, not a great map.
No.
Not a great map.
I know. Well, Assassin's Creed games are based in there, remember?
First Assassin's Creed game by today's standards, though. It was good. It was fun.
Back to basics,
but it was just, we never saw parkour in a video game before.
But
like, are you telling me this lad
you have different chapters where you play as, like, Moses and shit.
You play as Moses in... Is this in the Christ video game? Or
the Christ video game. No, it's not. Moses.
Press X to separate the water and free the Egyptians.
Wrist blade.
Gotcha.
You can play as Moses.
You have sinned. If you get too many sins.
You could do like sort of I'm trying to think of other characters.
It could be Abraham, where you're about to stab your own son.
It could be Noah, and you have to go and collect all the animals for your
all the animals. Yeah, that'd be like
like hunting them.
Yeah,
almost. It's like
any animals that you don't get.
It's like Pokemon.
They don't exist in.
It's like you go around and throw nets at them, like Pokemon.
Very good. Daniel and the lions survive you must survive the night in the
Cain and Abel. That'd be class.
Cain and Abel would be good. That'd be like fight night.
Pretty class. Yeah, it'd be like fight night. Yeah. UFC undisputed.
Then you'd have like the actual start where it was like The Sims, in the Garden of Eden.
That'd be class.
That'd be pretty cool. Actually, all of the Bible is pretty class. Lot's wife turned into
God
salt.
creating the earth.
God creating it. It's funny, on the first day God creating, but sure, there were no days before there was earth. Days don't exist in space. There are no days.
Well,
in space.
could you? I know what you're saying, but
they
like
talk about eons. And,
but if just the sun exists, right? If the sun exists before,
but
Earth,
something needs to revolve around the sun.
It does
for a day,
yeah, it does. But you could you would know what days had elapsed when you put the Earth down first, if you know what I'm saying. Because you said,
but did he create the Earth?
Well, maybe
first,
it would.
Yeah. I think God just knew what it did. God was all about 24/7.
He knew.
He was like 24/7. Every 4 years, have an extra day, and we'll do a bit of daylight savings.
I'm going on to Neil deGrasse Tyson's podcast and tell him to cop on to himself.
I will. I'll be like, how come you don't talk about God and you're talking about stars and shit?
Why are you talking about the Big Bang as if God didn't do it? Like,
yeah, God did the Big Bang.
Sure, you don't know.
You don't know nothing. Why do you talk like you have a topic?
I'm actually really enjoying his one lately.
Neil?
It's actually nice to listen to like intelligent people talking for a change, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like because sometimes that actually inspires thought.
Neil gets so upset if you disagree with him. I've heard him on a few podcasts where people have like disagreed with him. He goes, no.
He's one of them guys where like he's obviously a very intelligent person, but he's quite good at like being that guy that's like the media representative.
He has a good way of
thing.
Like he has a lovely of talking about like the universe.
Oh yeah, inspiring.
You're looking into the stardust. Thing. It's pretty.
Sometimes I could get why some people might say that he sounds maybe a bit condescending at times and stuff like that, but generally thinking, bless you, Eminder.
I held my nose, so it's
there's a funny clip of him with Ben Shapiro where he's just like, where Ben Shapiro is trying to go on about gender and all with him, and he's just like, why does it matter so much to you?
Yeah, he has an interesting theory with gender, which I think in the long run is going to be the way it's adapted, where he says you need way more weight classes and stuff so that you can cater for intergender sports, which makes sense. But then people are like, no, about men and women and all. And that also makes sense right now because you don't have the mad amount.
He was just saying that, like, because, like, Ben was like, it doesn't occur in nature, so that's...
Yeah,
like,
but Ben...
And like, what Neil was saying was like, well, no, it's because it exists, it is. So
it is occurring in nature,
It's like, it is happening. It's a social science type of thing, so it is still a science. And it's an emerging thing, but I don't really have a strong opinion either way. But I just thought it was interesting to hear him because it was just like, you know, one person that really cares about the rigid architecture and the structure of the whole thing, and then there's another person who's like, it's not that deep, bro.
Ben
it's
Shapiro,
like, look,
Ben
this
Shapiro,
is the way that
like,
it should be.
obviously an intelligent lad, but he's mad into his faith and all that. So Ben Shapiro's like, I can't go to a wedding between men. It's like, why? My religion doesn't. I have nothing against gay people, but my religion doesn't allow me. It's like, what are you even talking about? The other lad as well, fucking Matt Walsh, he's the same, like, where he's just like, why would men get married? It doesn't make sense for men to get married. And it's like, why doesn't it make sense? But what even is that if marriage is between a man and a woman? It was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And it's just like, why
Adam and Steve.
But you see that, like, it's all that low level stuff because they're saying some interesting stuff about like gender, and there are problems with the way that we're going into gender now. But then as soon as you dig a little bit below the surface, you're like, oh no, you dads are just like ultra conservative lads who like don't want gays to be a thing. Oh, okay, so you're. Right. So unfortunately the baby and the bathwater has to go out now, unfortunately.
Exactly. That's kind of what it is. And I think that was kind of the conversation that I had heard where they were talking about it, and I was like, yeah, that's good points. But it's just funny. It's strange times we're in. So Stephen Marlowe writes in.
Hi chaps, just wanted to tell you about a couple of strange things that happened 2 weeks ago. My mother had been in a dementia home for a couple of years after suffering for about 3 years before. We knew she was getting near to the end, and on June the 19th, we got a call saying she was fading. So my wife and I, plus my brother and his wife, plus my 2 daughters, arrived by her bed at 1 p.m. Nothing changed for 5 hours. So my brother said if there is no change by 8, he will leave for a couple of hours to get something to eat, shower, etc. Almost at that moment, her breathing changed and extremities started to change colour and go cold. She continued to decline and left us at about 8:05, but the clock in her room has always been 5 minutes slow, and it said 8 p.m. exactly. The next morning, my youngest daughter woke to find an earring that her gran had given her, that she had lost a week earlier under her pillow. At the same time, my wife came into the kitchen in tears, saying she felt my mother right beside her. Strange? Anyway, thanks for the show. Cheers, Stephen Marlowe. So well, first of all, sorry to hear that, Stephen. I hope you're doing okay. Never easy to lose a loved one. But yeah, I like those like little strange synchronicities when a loved one passes.
Finding things, and that's happened. Who was it? Maybe it was on this pod. Sometimes we hear things and you're like, did that happen in real life or did that happen? But we've definitely heard a story, I think, where someone passes and like that next day that thing that was lost, say for example, turns up immediately, and you're like,
you do. I was thinking about this earlier, like when people are saying like you manifest, you know, your destiny and blah blah blah, and I was like, you know, the way they talk about like thinking yourself into health and all that sort of positive affirmation, and I was just like, that must be really fucking frustrating if like you truly believe that.
Yeah.
but it doesn't work because nothing is 100% across the line like that. Do you know what I mean? So like even with the synchronicity, it's like there's coincidence, but then I do believe there's elements of it that are like metaphysical things going on. So but I think, again, we've talked about it before, I think the nice thing is that whether or not there's a objective truth behind these things, it's nice to have something that gives you an element of comfort after someone has passed on. And in that way, I think you're better off as viewing these as synchronicities and that they have some sort of connection to your person.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you can derive meaning from it. Yeah. We're in a really weird, fucked up, like, going forward, like, it's going to be so weird when people pass because, like, there's just so much shit nowadays where, like, for example, if one of you or I fucking dies, there's, like, 500 hours of us talking, right? So like
we can recreate each other.
Well, you could argue that like you could derive meaning from things we say after we're gone and it's things funny, like that, and you're like, oh yeah.
Do you ever see those movies where like someone leaves a voicemail or whatever, and the person doesn't erase the voicemail, they listen to it for comfort? It'll be really fucked up because like, let's say one of us passes on and our parents miss us and they don't listen, but they have to listen to us talking about Mickeys and Diddies. And they're like, it was better that he died, actually. It was actually better that he died. My ma is meeting one of her buddies in Tremor for a while. And she was like, oh yeah, she said she was listening to your podcast. And I just immediately went, gulp. Uh-oh. This lady has one impression of me when I'm like nice at dinner. Now I'm out there talking about eating ass. So it'll be interesting to see me ma again now on the weekend and see what she's learned about her only son.
Yeah, sure. My in-laws would like listen to the pod and stuff, and I'm like, well, you can't handle me at my worst. You don't deserve me at my best, brother.
My sister can't listen to it. She's like, I had to just tap out. Like, it's just too disgusting for my brother to say those things.
Well, like from our perspective, she's your sister, so like course, she doesn't want their like gross aim and
of course. That
if
she had a podcast talking about
exactly
fannies and all, I wouldn't listen to her.
Like, no. It is as funny that way, like. But yeah, as I said to you before, like that. My sister, when we first went on YouTube, like she showed me ma on the TV, us on YouTube, and like just straight away, like the first thing she said was you shouting out Tony Bolognese, and just you saying Tony Bolognese. She was just in tears, like, oh, what the fuck are they even talking about? And that was probably best that was the highlight for her, and then we just left it at that. Really,
I have a few of my uncles that like, listen. I didn't even know they listened to it, and they're like, "You was talking about all the smart things and all," but then you just start talking about Mickeys and Diddies, and they're like, yeah, it's true to life, I'm afraid.
It is, yeah. You have to have the good with the bad, you know. We're on to some Patron questions that we missed from last week. CEO Alpha Male Moderator Punani asks, Death Row, what would be your last meal?
I'm going for a really upper class seafood linguine.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, like that's a decent shout, but like I feel like something like totally shitbag is probably better because
you want to get like,
well, it's like your last fucking meal, like, so it's like seafood linguine is great, like, don't get me wrong, but like seafood linguine you can kind of eat and almost be healthy after it and go, that was like, yeah, I want something shitbag.
You want to have like
bacon double cheeseburger, fucking lot of chicken nuggets.
I had a bacon double cheeseburger a while ago, man.
A lot of fucking cream cakes and shit.
Be
like a coffee slice.
I wonder, like,
Stafford's
can
Bakery,
you eat yourself into
slice.
a coma and then just get lethal injection out of it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, just eat so much
I would
that
have
death is a relief.
Linguine as some of that food.
Yeah. Just eat so much. Like, I'd like a good tiramisu.
Yeah.
Can't have a tiramisu with egg in it, dogs. That fucks me up.
Yeah, but it's your grand now.
True, actually, it doesn't matter. So now, actually, yeah, loads of eggs.
You be like, eggs. Give me 20 Marlboro.
Quiche.
Give me a fucking, like you smoking fags.
Heroin. Heroin Sunday, you know.
That'd be a pretty good way. Like, if you were going to go.
Trifle with a lot of heroin sprinkled on top.
Man, that
now you're talking my language.
I'm like, what time is it? I might try that before I go home.
Christmas pudding, bit of custard,
bit of
Valium. Valium's in the custard.
Valium crushed up diazepam. Just as the oof.
Yeah.
Oh man, can you imagine just eating those sugary desserts, but they're just laced with downers. Oh wow.
Hash in a Twix.
You know,
sort
of coming up on Cadbury. Nice.
Mostly business. Ask the question, Eamon.
If you eat yourself, do you lose or gain weight?
Lose. Totally lose.
Yeah, because your body metabolized
your shit
in the immediate.
Your shit is like a condensed version of what you eat, right? So you're by volume.
Yeah, and it would take time.
That's a good question, though. That's one for Neil deGrasse Tyson.
I don't think he'd
is the shit that you put out after eating a meal more heavy or less heavy than the meal?
It's less heavy, I'd say.
Oh, I don't know though.
Yeah, but if like I've eaten
high fiber
kilogram of
psyllium husk,
but I don't have to wait because it takes
chia
out
seeds,
the nutrients. Chia seeds are fairly good, but it takes out the nutrients and then like put it does take stuff out of it.
It does, but nutrients, man, it's like when you smoke molecules.
A fag, the smoke from your fag doesn't create a fag. If you can like hold it up, probably does. Pre-smoked smoke fags.
No, but pretty cool. Seriously though, it might if you eat. I
don't think it does.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
A dense poo.
What have you did you ever eat?
My poos are pretty dense.
Did you ever eat
they go down like a luge,
torn
like the Jamaican bobsled team.
But if you eat, if you eat something really dense, like a big block,
steak,
big block of food,
cheese and steak.
Man, if that came out at the same weight,
I don't know, man.
I don't think it does. I could be wrong now, but you'd eat a kilo of food handy. Wouldn't take a kilo of shit now. You'd be walking around petrified looking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's my official unscientific.
The peristalsis, you lose a bit of the density. That's one for Neil deGrasse Tyson. I said Neil deGrasse during the peristalsis process.
We should have Neil on it. Just ask him really the dumb. Neil, if you were to eat
why
yourself,
is space black?
That's a good one. Why is space black?
Tell us, Neil. Let us
know.
Nighttime?
Is it nighttime all the time, or is it daytime all the time by the sun? What's going on?
No, I think the peristalsis is the scientific answer. And during the process of peristalsis, a lot happens. You lose a lot.
Peristalsis, is he the lead singer of Jane's Addiction?
He is peristalsis. No, it's when peristalsis is the process of moving the shits along your body.
Sometimes you gotta
the peristalsis
massage along the big intestine. Get it going.
I believe that's peristalsis anyway.
Yeah, peristalsis.
Shaped
my daughter.
Or worded your daughter.
Or you said it though in today's episode. I listened back for you did blank out the power.
I did.
Yeah, pretty good.
I did do that.
But that was, to be fair, I didn't say it bad.
No.
For anyone who thinks I was taking a go at minorities again. No.
It was, yeah.
Well, I suppose in a way I was, but they're minorities that we don't like. No one likes them.
Right. So Lisa aka Sentient Computer asks, what's your all-time favourite or most repeated movie quote?
I like "We're gonna need a bigger boat," or "You're gonna need a bigger boat."
Me press nightmare.
When bison came to your village, it was the most important day of your life. But to me, it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, that's
pretty good. That's a pretty good line.
That's great. So you're like, we're gonna need a bigger boat?
Yeah, I think it's a very versatile.
You getting that Jaws Lego?
Yeah, it looks pretty sick. I'm going to get that and keep it in a container.
That looks class.
In glass case. And
that Jaws Lego looks class.
It does look class.
What is mine? I do say a lot, they're coming out of the walls. Or game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Or come on, you son of a bitch. Is that one? He says, Dylan.
Predator?
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a couple of Predator quotes.
I like that. I ain't got time to bleed.
He dug in better than an Alabama tick. That's another one from Predator. Yeah, movie quotes. Lesbians from Scarface. Do you remember that?
Lesbians.
Do you remember that? No, that's funny. It was Manny says that. I think his name was Manny. He tries to chat up girls. He's putting all the fucking swagger, and they're like, "Fuck off, you weirdo, creep." Is there any more? I'm trying to think.
There is no spoon is a fairly popular one.
I will say, like in modern times, quotes are fucking crap. There's no good ones at all anymore.
Avengers.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Yeah. There's
Clever Girl.
Oh, Clever Girls is a good one. Yeah.
Girl.
Clever Girls. Sorry, yeah, you're right. It's just the other girls over there. Sure, they're all girls.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
The
reveal of the dinosaurs by the watering hole.
Yeah.
Class in that. There's no real.
It's not quote, but
he just moves Ellie Sadler's head, so she's like,
"Fuck you, asshole."
They do move in herds. Yeah. Fuck you, asshole. I need your car, your no, your clothes, your motorcycle. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I need your car, your PPS number, and your social security.
Your approximate height, social insurance details.
Yeah, those are all good. I'm trying to think. Me and Eamon generally are quoting like stupid crap. That's like just very specific. Yeah, very specific to me and Eamon. It's like, yeah.
Knee press nightmare.
Knee press nightmare. Yeah, it's all very silly, stupid shit. Yeah, tart. Oh, a tart.
A tart.
Yeah. Shouts out
Grave,
yeah. The big conspirator Lee writes in, Eamon. This is a tough one. I couldn't understand this question.
You gain a superpower, but 10% of the time it does the opposite of what it normally does. What is the superpower?
So it's the opposite, right? So
only 10% of the time.
What basically superpower? Well, then, like, would you just choose a fairly mundane superpower so that then the 10% you get something cooler again? You know, to kind of like hack it. You'd be like, I'm trying to think now.
Like, if you were able to move as fast as the speed of sound, like, what's the opposite of as fast as the speed of sound?
That'd be like
possibly the speed of light. That's not the opposite though. That's more of a synonym.
That'd be just moving incredibly slowly
for 10% of the time. That'd be shit.
Yeah, like, that'd be really shit.
I don't think we need that. What if you were just in really good form 90% of the time, but then 10% of the time we're like, fuck's sake.
I could do
that's probably better than the stats I have in my life at the minute.
You're a top shagger 90% of the time, and then 10% of the time you're not a top shagger.
Like, that's an improvement.
That's pretty good.
That's probably an improvement.
That's probably a good one.
Top shagger. You can... No,
you're getting creepy there, are you?
No, not creepy, but like...
Concerning.
It was kind of a... I was thinking, like, is there a way that you could sort of read someone... You can read minds 90% of the time, then 10%
you tune out.
Yeah.
But then what you say then is 90% of the time you don't read minds, and then 10% of the time you can read minds. Right?
And
that's not superpower then.
That might be a kind of a cursey gift.
Yeah. You don't want to really read people's minds.
You don't really want to know. Unless we all know what everyone's thinking. I don't think it's a good one.
Yeah. And then because then it normalizes bizarre thoughts. But then you think that surely do wonders for like mental health if everyone was like, oh, everyone kind of has them anxieties or hang-ups.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you'd really quickly identify the people that couldn't live in society.
And the people that are like blustering and shit.
You'd make Battle Island and put all the people who are going to be criminals on Battle Island.
Yeah.
And just...
Class.
Off with them. Battle Island is a class idea.
Yeah.
Housing for everyone.
Yeah. Andrew Carney writes in, a cryptid of your choosing has been proven to exist, flesh and blood, no supernatural paranormal abilities. I feel like that was added for Eamon. You're appointed.
Way to go, Andrew.
You're appointed to a committee to keep it safe from hunters, tourists, and people who might exploit it. What do you do to keep it safe, basically? A cryptid, right? I think that, that's actually tricky because, like, you have places in, like, Africa where it's almost like they try not to interfere, but, like, they're literally at war with poachers and shit like that, trying to stop them from getting in. I'm trying to think what cryptid first, and then, like, if it's the thylacine.
I was about to say the thylacine as well.
If the thylacine has been proven to exist... then the best thing you can probably do is keep on doing what you're doing because no one fucking knows where it is. And it's like...
That's true, yeah.
Like...
is this that people have just figured out, like everyone's figured out it's real, so they're trying to get to it? Hunters, tourists, people who might exploit it.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You know? So then, so if you had Bigfoot, for example, that'd be a tricky one because the thylacine you could capture and make safe, whereas Bigfoot would be a trickier one because how do you like pacify well, obviously we discussed this last week. You have to give him a tug. A wee tug.
If you got like a dinosaur cryptid, like that might actually be, in a way, more people might be on board to keep that safe because they'd be just like, we really need to study this, like, so we need to keep it as safe as possible because there's like
you probably need to go down. You need to go down official channels, really, don't you?
Yeah.
And get the buy-in of President Biden. We need this Velociraptor, President Biden.
Like that's kind of what happened with the thylacine. Was like. They put it in zoos to try and, I think, at the time, breed them to try and make more because they were like, fuck, there's not many of these fuckers left. Like,
yeah.
And the they just weren't good in captivity. They just didn't do well. Now, I don't know whether that was down to, at the time, obviously, captivity wasn't great. Not too far removed from when they were keeping humans in zoos as well, so I'll keep that in mind. And
that's true.
Yeah, so like you're kind of wondering, would it be best to try and interfere? I suppose what you try and do is build an on-site research kind of thing, like they do with, say, gorillas and things like that, where basically they have, you know, huts and teams out there kind of on-site researching. That's probably the best thing to do.
You'd have to keep a few just for breeding purposes to make sure you keep the species going.
It'd be really cool though, all seriousness, like, and thylacines probably the best likely candidate. Where like it would be really cool if they found like a small breeding population of like a proper cryptid of like I say a proper cryptid, like thylacine is probably the closest thing. The only reason the thylacines are cryptid as well is because people now think it's fully extinct. If there was any doubt to that, it wouldn't be a cryptid. Because once it gets proven to be real, then it's, you know, happy days. So yeah, I think thylacine would be the one, like, and it'd be really cool. Like that, like, I think that's the thing that we're missing now is like, you know, so much of the planet is explored now that like the chances of finding a breeding population of anything above the size of like, say, a golden retriever is probably slim to none. It's getting tricky. But again, you never know. There's a lot of places that are really fucking overgrown. And even in our own history, like when you read about like, there's so many species of like hominid that we like as podcasters in general, like because we're not in that field, like we have no idea how many different types there are. And there's some types of hominid that are only found because like one dude went into a certain cave and found a certain bone. And they're like, oh, this is a new species of hominid.
So we still don't know the kind of push of our evolution and everything. Yeah, we're still not totally sure.
So like there is, I think, still room for finding new stuff. I think so. Both in the cool sort of archaeological sense where it's like, oh, here's our paleological
paleontology.
Yeah, it's like in that way, like finding cool shit. So you never know. And he just says really quick, Thor, Zeus or Ra come to stay for the week. You have to show them the sights without people coming up to them thinking they're cosplaying or actors. If they think their godliness is being mocked, you get smited. How long do you last? In Ireland, not long. No. You walk up Grafton Street.
You're gone before you even get out the street.
You're getting jeered. Yeah. Like you're literally lasting half an hour, if that, 15 minutes.
Show them the sights.
You can't even wear, like, if I was to go out of the house with these Billie Eilish pants on me, forget it.
You're getting jeered.
You can't do it.
Yeah. Cyclops t-shirt, Billie Eilish past pair and Nike. I'll get jeered for this. They don't know what Neon Genesis Evangelion is, but they'll jeer me for it. Why'd you have a stupid purple robot on your shirt? That's dirt. You're dirt, are you?
Yeah. So in Ireland, you can't express yourself freely. No. So
I think the younger generations are okay, because I don't think the kids
we weren't
jeer each
able
other that much.
We weren't able to do it when we were
out listening to Limp Bizkit.
We weren't able to express ourselves when we were kids. Properly.
Well, we kind of...
Properly.
We were better than our parents were. Well, no, actually, weren't. My dad was going to follow Chairman Mao and all. Like,
we can't even follow Mao. Like,
we can't even follow Mao. Fuck's sake. Dirt.
We can't follow Mao. We can't do nothing.
Sake.
You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
Mao Zedong. Like, can't even follow Mao Zedong. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, so we'll leave it there. Quick shout. Yeah, the last mini Fuzz for a little summer break. A reminder to everyone, if you want more content, if you're lacking content, head on over to our Patreon. There's a plethora of shite, a smorgasbord of shite. A lot of video stuff. There's including our old live show video, which is an hour long and more with Gordo. There is hiking vlogs. There is regular vlogs. There's horticultural Fuzz. There's fucking every month exclusive episodes for the last 4 years. There's a lot of content over there if you are wanting stuff. If you're not, I would offer a suggestion as a little exercise as a Monster Fuzz listener. Go back and start on episode 1 and give him an old listen. That helps us too. So if you're wanting to do anything like that, it always helps as long as the listens are coming in. So
yeah, if you could just, when you go to sleep at night, just start on episode 1 and just put your phone on repeat and just listen through the episodes. Just do that every night. Yeah, just if all of you could do that, that would really help us quite a lot, actually.
A listener farm. But yeah, that's, in all seriousness, that's kind of the crack. So yeah, we appreciate it. I will probably do a Tokyo/Japan vlog for Patreon, and that one will probably only stay on Patreon. It depends. Like, I'll bring the GoPro with me. It just depends on how arsed I am doing lots of footage. I probably will do a lot, to be honest.
Sure.
And that would include Akihabara. That would include
Suicide Forest.
Checking all that. That's Aokigahara, isn't it? Akihabara.
Oh, sorry, Akigahara.
Yeah.
The Electric City.
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
That's the one with all the retro video games and shit, right? That's I'll be going there. I'll be going to guitar instrument shops. I'm going to buy a guitar in Japan. All of that stuff. I'll probably vlog. So if anyone's interested in that, head on over to our Patreon too. And Eamon's going to be posting up a couple of things. And to the person that sent me the story, I don't have your name. I do have the story. And apologies for not replying to you. I'm going to send that on to Eamon. Sometimes I do these things where I think I've told people that I'm doing them and I haven't. So that person's probably going, why have I not had a response?
When will my story be read?
Yeah, that's why basically I was going to send it on to Eamon when I'm away. And and good news is when we come back as well, I've got a lot of cool ideas. We're going to be collaborating a lot more with other podcasts. I have a lot of stuff like that in the pipeline coming as well. So yous will be eating well when we get back. Got some cool plans there. So have a good couple of weeks, folks. Wish me safe travels on a 14-hour fucking plane journey.
Good.
I've been Rob.
I've been Eamon.
Mini Fuzz over and out, pimps. Out of here.